Okay, this video might be a little bit controversial, but I want to talk about something that has been on my mind for a while now. And from my deep research within the World War II during the Operation Paperclip, and how we took some of the benefits of science and technology and medicines from Germany and we brought it here to the US. And how and where did the KGB operated after the war? And where did they go? Who hired them after the end of the Soviet Union? So, from my research, was that I saw that a lot of governmental bodies of Israel were hiring ex KGB officers and propagandists to not only infiltrate but also work within media, social structure and balance of the Western world. Also, they were operating on the basis of academia and teachers, and they were operating and influencing different sectors within the American society. And not only that, they were able to be very successful within the religious communities inside America by making and producing propaganda, mind control operations within different religious belief to support the Israeli government, because that's what they were hired for, because they could no longer operate in the Soviet Union, and a lot of them were being afraid of being executed from the KGB itself. And a lot of the deception, a lot of the social outrage and social distrust that has been going on in the U.S. is coming from factions of outside nations and operating within the U.S. And they are using, media, religion, academia, universities, art schools to not only create a deception but train students to operate within the U.S. covertly without knowing that they were pushing for communist and socialist ideologies. And that comes from the Communist Manifesto, as well as different factions of how these people operate. And they have a lot of media power. And I have been noticing patterns between media, mega corporations, and CEOs who are half Jewish and half Russians or Ukrainians. They claim to be Ukrainian, but there is a loophole within Ukraine where a Russian can become Ukrainian and then migrate to the US covertly or to Israel and operate within that nation and be hired to push for communist propaganda in different sectors of the Western world, as well as Europe, which is a target for both Russia and the Islamic Brotherhood, as well as the Israeli propagandists who are operating covertly to bring in the Agenda 21, who are these leaders of the multi-billion-dollar Trilateral Commission CEOs who are under the international banking budget, working as puppets for the mega international banks who launders hundreds and thousands of money from dirty laundry from the U.S., as well as the Federal Reserve within the U.S., who bail out hundreds of different types of banks outside the country to provide a economic relief. But those economic reliefs was for the Agenda 21, was for the uh, funding of these agencies that were operating within the propagandist specialists that were ex KGB um, officers who were operating within the Soviet Union back in the day, and then their offspring as well as their studies of deception and mind control within the Western world got passed on through generations, and that's how I view the entire structure of the Western society today. It is organized efforts, organized chaotic control of ideology and speech, culture, as well as how you communicate with one another. And then there are sub agencies within these Western society who are being basically being used as a useful idiot by these foreigners who are operating within an intelligence community and covertly hiring these agencies in the US and different countries to target specific people based on lies. And basically, they created an AI system that monitors every single person individually, one by one. And then they can target that specific individual for any behavior pattern that they might deem unsafe for the world elites who are trying to bring down the West to create a communist revolution. But they first start off with socialism. That's, if you study how they operate, starts with the culture and social revolution within universities, and then it become a massive confusion because most students, they have no idea what they're getting themselves into. And then they have their Marxist communist revolution, and those socialists, useful idiots, are actually, put against the wall and shot like they always do throughout history. So we are at a very, very dangerous state in America where the economy is literally, on its last leg, basically trying to stand with the massive weight behind their backs, and anything can disturb this economic security that there is in the U.S. And because of the Chinese economy it is affecting different fractions of the economy and the GDP within the U.S. because they did a lot of currency manipulation and market manipulation throughout the whole world. And I believe that these KGB and these people who are operating covertly within these agencies are trying to bring down the world economy so that they can bring in an answer to their Agenda 21 takeover of the world, so that they can basically expand and control Israel's market. Because what I'm seeing a lot as well is that a lot of markets here in the US are being targeted and being shipped overseas. Like a lot of things are like sanctions are causing a trade war within the US. So the Israelis and South Africa and all these people are taking advantage of the farmers' productions being targeted by tariffs. They can farm outside the country and control that market by scrapping whatever America is losing within the trade war. It is a very, very diabolical system that they are operating within. They are letting two giant nations fight one another, and they're just scrapping from both sides of this trade war, and the U.S. is under massive pressure, both politically, economically, as well as speech-wise. We are being pressured to support only specific people within this control economic environment that there is, because they are recycling presidents after presidents to keep pushing all this spending, war spending, and expanding the trade deals, and expanding the arms race with different countries outside, the U.S., and it's not benefiting the economy here. And what I'm seeing is I'm seeing a recession going down within the U.S. right now, and it's growing very rapidly. I'm looking at outside, and I'm looking at businesses like crumbling here and there and having a hard time keeping up with their expenses and supply and demand, and keeping up with the customers. And people are not having that much money to spend, so everyone's in the budget and a lot of debt, living paycheck to paycheck. So my updates for this video is that I plan on maybe buying an RV for my maybe I'm buying like a camper for my truck as an emergency, as an economy emergency situation. If I have to live in a camper, I will. And housing prices are ridiculous, because not every job in America is secure. People are losing their jobs and here and there, and people are being hired here and there at a low rate, and people don't have that much money to spend around and have any savings. So we have to be prepared for every type of situation that's going on. And as what it is right now, because of the political pressure and economic pressure that's going on, it's affecting all the markets in the US, and it's becoming extremely unstable. That's my update for this video, and I will be updating on more videos. I'm trying to get a typewriter so I can make a script next time I make a video, so I'm not speaking my mind or making an invisible script in my head and just going over all my memories. I have really good memory, but I have to get a typewriter just because I feel like, because of the censorships, I have been reading internal documents within Microsoft. They are planning to censor Microsoft Word speech to sound politically correct. I kid you not. They are going to come up with a patch for Microsoft Word where you can no longer speak or write your mind. And they're going to monitor word for word, and all of your politically incorrect comments that you write on Word is going to go straight to your social credit system that they're building in within these international banking elites, who are controlling your FICO and your credit score by basing everything off of your social system and what you believe and what political ideologies you have. And if you fall outside their control environment, then you are deemed a dangerous individual with dangerous speech. They are going to come after us. They already have come after us. They are going to come after us next. Because I know the KGB, because I know how they and where they operate, because I know how much influence they have within the media and the economic pressure that they have, and because I've got a bunch of internal documents within the Hillary Clinton foundations, and I got all their names in Canada and within the Panama paper, how they were laundering money from Europe and these international communities, how they were taking bailout money for zero interest rate, basically free money, and then laundering to Panama papers. And it's insane how much these people do for money, and these people are extremely dangerous. And like I was saying, I need to get a typewriter and write things down and a hard copy, because we are no longer going to have any free speech in America, because they're going to come after us for extreme speech. they're going to target us for extreme speech next, and they're going to censor this video, and they're going to come after every single person out there who are against this total control and destruction of America. God bless all of you, and hopefully I see you in the battlefield one day, and we can bring down these scumbag parasite vampires who are sucking up every pennies we got on our pocket to benefit foreigners outside this nation. See you in the battlefield, Patriot.